Captain Marcus Thornfield was 37 years into his maritime career when he heard them for the first time. It was 3:17 a.m. on October 14, 2019, exactly 107 years after the Titanic struck that infamous iceberg. His cargo vessel, the Northern Star, was cutting through the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, roughly 400 miles southeast of Newfoundland. The night was unnaturally still. Thornfield had navigated these waters countless times, but something felt different. The ocean stretched endlessly in every direction, black as obsidian under a moonless sky. The ship's engines hummed their familiar rhythm when suddenly, cutting through the mechanical drone, came the sound that would haunt him forever. Bells. Deep, resonant church bells tolling across the water. Thornfield rushed to the bridge, checking his instruments. No other vessels appeared on radar. The nearest ship was over 200 miles away. Yet the bells continued, their mournful song echoing across the waves with impossible clarity. Each toll seemed to carry the weight of tragedy, reverberating through the steel hull and into the bones of every crew member aboard. "Do you hear that?" Thornfield asked his first mate, James Morrison. Morrison nodded, his face pale in the green glow of the instrument panel. "Sounds like funeral bells," Morrison whispered. "But there's nothing out there, Captain. Nothing at all." The bells tolled 13 times, then fell silent. This wasn't an isolated incident. Maritime records, though often dismissed by skeptics, contain dozens of similar reports dating back to 1912. The phenomenon has become known among sailors as the phantom bells of the Titanic, and those who've heard them describe the experience in remarkably consistent terms. Sarah Chen, a marine biologist who encountered the bells while conducting research aboard the vessel Poseidon's Dream in 2021, recorded her experience in detailed logs. "The sound was impossible to ignore," she wrote. "It wasn't coming from any direction in particular. It seemed to rise from the ocean itself, as if the water had found its voice." Chen's encounter occurred at 2:20 a.m. on April 15th, the exact time and date the Titanic disappeared beneath the waves in 1912. Her research team was studying deep-sea currents approximately 300 miles from the wreck site when the tolling began. Unlike Thornfield's experience, Chen heard the bells toll 21 times. Each toll was perfectly spaced, she recalled during a phone interview last year. "Like a countdown. Or maybe a roll call. My equipment detected no acoustic anomalies, no sound waves that could explain what we were hearing, yet all 6 team members heard the same thing." The legend suggests these phantom bells serve as a supernatural warning system, alerting modern sailors to impending danger in the same waters where over 1,500 souls perished. But the pattern of encounters reveals something more complex and deeply unsettling. Retired Coast Guard officer Daniel Reeves has been documenting these reports for over 20 years. His files contain testimonies from cargo ship captains, fishing vessel crews, research teams, and even luxury cruise passengers. "The reports spike during certain times of year," Reeves explains. "April 14th and 15th see the most activity, but we also get clusters around other maritime disaster anniversaries." Reeves himself heard the bells during a rescue operation in 2003. His cutter was searching for survivors from a capsized fishing boat when the tolling began at exactly midnight. "It was like nothing I'd ever experienced," he says. "The bells seemed to be guiding us. We followed the sound and found the last survivor clinging to debris. Without those bells, he would have died." But not all encounters with the phantom bells end in salvation. The cargo ship Atlantic Dawn reported hearing the bells on March 3, 2018. Captain Elena Rodriguez logged the incident, noting that the tolling lasted for nearly 10 minutes. 3 hours later, the Atlantic Dawn struck an uncharted ice shelf, suffering significant hull damage. The crew was rescued, but the ship was lost. "The bells weren't warning us," Rodriguez said from her hospital bed. "They were calling us, like they wanted us to join whatever's down there, in the dark." Maritime psychologist Dr. Rebecca Walsh has studied the phenomenon from a scientific perspective. She suggests the reports might result from a combination of psychological factors and acoustic anomalies unique to the North Atlantic. The human brain is remarkably good at finding patterns and meaning in random stimuli, she explains. In an environment as isolating and dangerous as the open ocean, sailors might interpret natural sounds as something supernatural. However, Dr. Walsh's research took an unexpected turn when she joined an expedition to study the phenomenon firsthand in 2020. Aboard the research vessel Deep Current, she experienced the phantom bells herself on April 14th at 11:40 p.m., the exact time the Titanic struck the iceberg. "I went into this as a complete skeptic," she admits. "I expected to debunk the whole thing, but what I heard that night defied every scientific explanation I could offer. The bells were real. They were there, and they were trying to tell us something." The Deep Current's sophisticated audio equipment recorded nothing during the incident, despite all 12 crew members hearing the tolling clearly. Dr. Walsh's subsequent analysis revealed no environmental factors that could explain the phenomenon. Local fishing communities in Newfoundland have their own interpretation of the phantom bells. Margaret O'Brien, whose family has fished these waters for 4 generations, grew up hearing stories about the calling bells from her grandfather. "He always said the Titanic's bells never stop ringing," O'Brien recalls. "When a ship goes down with that much sorrow, that much loss of life, something stays behind. The bells are the souls of the lost, still trying to warn others about the danger." O'Brien's own encounter with the bells occurred in 2015 while checking her family's lobster traps. "It was a clear morning, calm seas, perfect visibility," she says. "Then I heard them. 13 bells, just like my grandfather described. I got my traps up and headed for shore as fast as I could. 2 hours later, a sudden storm hit that area. If I'd stayed, I might not have made it back." The phenomenon has also caught the attention of paranormal investigators. The Atlantic Paranormal Research Society conducted 3 expeditions to study the phantom bells between 2017 and 2019. Their findings, while controversial, suggest the bells manifest most frequently during specific atmospheric conditions. "We've identified a correlation between electromagnetic field fluctuations and bell encounters," says lead investigator Tom Harrison. "There's definitely something happening out there that science hasn't fully explained yet." Harrison's team recorded what they claim is audio evidence of the phantom bells during their 2019 expedition. The recording, available on their website, captures a series of low-frequency tones that match witness descriptions. However, marine acoustics experts remain skeptical about the recording's authenticity. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of the phantom bells legend is its apparent evolution. Early reports from the 1920s and 1930s described simple bell tolling. Modern accounts, however, include additional phenomena. Witnesses report seeing lights beneath the water during bell encounters, hearing voices carried on the wind, and experiencing sudden temperature drops. Captain Lisa Martinez of the research vessel Ocean Pioneer encountered the bells in 2022 and reported seeing a massive shadow moving beneath the surface during the tolling. Her crew's underwater cameras captured footage of what appears to be a large, ship-shaped object at impossible depths for the area. "The sonar showed nothing," Martinez explains, "but the cameras don't lie. Something huge was down there and it was moving." The phantom bells continue to manifest in the North Atlantic, their mournful song echoing across the waves where the Titanic met its fate over a century ago. Sailors who've heard them describe a profound sense of connection to the past, as if the boundary between then and now dissolves in those haunting moments. As maritime traffic increases in the North Atlantic and climate change alters traditional shipping routes, more vessels traverse these historically treacherous waters. The reports of phantom bell encounters are increasing, suggesting that whatever force creates this phenomenon is far from dormant. The question remains, are these bells a warning from the past, trying to prevent future tragedies? Or are they something far more sinister, calling modern sailors to join the 1,500 souls who never made it home from that fateful April night in 1912? Next time you find yourself near the ocean on a quiet night, listen carefully to the sounds carried on the wind. because somewhere in the North Atlantic, the bells are still tolling, and they might just be tolling for you.